Hey there, welcome to Now look, Jim.
We might just have to start it this way.
Well, no, I mean, this is how it starts. Coming to you from the Recycle Garage in oh-so-sunny Santa Cruz, California, USA. I've got a fantastic show for you this week. It's great. We're pretty much going to do a standalone show based on our German, Austrian, and French adventure with Cat and Mouse. But first, let's get to who is in the room. Sitting very handsomely in the corner, it is exotic number 2. It'd be Henri.
What's up? Forgotten but not gone.
Yeah.
Never forgotten, Henry. Never forgotten. It's lovely to see you back.
It's good to be back.
Working the board as always.
MC Stumpy, baby.
Yes, it is MC Stumpy in the house. In the house. Sitting on the classy girl couch. Yes, it's me, Miss Emma. Hello. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I wanna. Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Hello, everybody. And sitting next to me, it's
Corey.
Hello, Corey.
Hello.
Corey was one of our lovely guests on the Castles and Curves tour. Moving around the room and sitting to Corey's left, it would be
Brian Honeycutt.
Hello, Brian.
How are you guys?
Once more, one of the riders on the Castles and Curves. Sitting next to Brian. Hello.
It's Mouse.
Hello, Mouse. So Mouse is the driving force behind Leod Escapes. And I'm not saying that lightly, Mouse, because, I mean, you're really the administrator. You make everything happen, don't you?
Yes.
I'm pleading the fifth on that because other parties are listening in.
The magic behind the curtain. The magic behind the curtain.
Sitting next to Mouse, everyone's favorite Jim, it's...
Hey, what's happening?
Everybody's favorite Jim.
Yeah, I'm like
It
an ice
is
cream
everybody's
cone. I feel
favorite
like
Jim.
I'm a nachos. Happy to be here, Emma.
Oh,
You're
it's
looking lovely
with
tonight,
his
by the way.
gamer cooler.
Dude,
right
you
here.
like that? It's my
No,
tumbler
he's-
with a built-in speaker.
Now, and we are hoping to get a couple of guests come in.
That is a...
Yeah,
Coffee mug.
that would be the Sex Pistols.
Liza is so glad she's not here right now.
No, Liza's absolutely thrilled. She's not here.
Who is this Liza person?
Yeah, Liza who?
No.
Liza who?
Where is Liza right now? I can tell you she's in England. And I believe she spent the day at, I want to say, she was at Silverstone earlier this week.
Yeah.
I think she's at the Motorcycle Museum, or was today.
Oh.
I've seen some snippets. It looks
Yes.
like
Yeah,
a wonderful little tour.
But of
she's got
course,
going on.
here in California land, it is 10 after 5. But in England, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Greenwich Mean Time.
GMT, as we say in the trade. Darling. So anyway, Bagel will be joining us hopefully very, very soon via Zoom, as will Jeremy, who again was one of the guests on the Castles and Curves tour. So look, I've been looking forward to doing this show. As you know, we did 2 European adventures this year, and I really feel that moving forward, this is going to be a really, really big part of what the Misfits do, are these adventures. And you can come on an adventure with the Misfits, you can hang out with us. They always give great value for money, and I want to make sure that they give good value for money. They're always affordable, they're always fun, but they're just great holidays. So number 1, of course, and we talked about it, was the Dolomites training tour. But this was something quite different. And I'm going to start with you, Mouse, because this was really your idea, wasn't it?
It was Kat's idea married with my love of castles.
So the tour, and we're doing this again for 2024, and we're going to, if you're interested, by the time we're done assaulting your senses tonight, if you're interested, please sign up for the 2024 tour. Yeah, it's going to be a wonderful time. But Castles and Curves is the name of the tour. What was the concept behind it? I mean, obviously you start off with just this very, very vague idea.
It's actually not so vague an idea. There's a ton of great writing in Germany, as you know. The country is punctuated by the Rhine and the Mosel rivers, which travel most of the way through Europe. Places that people do cruise, they come in, they get dropped off for a day at a tourist town, they load back up, they don't see the rest of the country. This country has a lot to offer. And it has a very interesting history besides just World War II, which is pretty much what anyone ever focuses on. So having a country that has a plethora of castles, really great castles, and unlike a lot of countries that have just let them fall into ruin, Germany's worked really hard to bring them back, to rebuild them. Cities have bought them and restored them. It's just a really magical place to really delve into and learn so much more about history.
Right. So it combines, first and foremost, it's a motorcycling tour, of course. And we're riding bikes and we're riding between towns. But we get to visit these amazing castles. And the thing that struck me throughout the tour was just how beautiful these things were. I thought we were going to be visiting ruins. But as you point out, I mean, Germany and Austria and to a certain extent France, and I mean, France have got whole towns like this. They've really embraced these things. And they're either original or completely restored.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. Did you go into Italy on this trip, or was it all Germany?
It was Germany, Austria,
Germany.
and France.
And, okay, beautiful. I'm just looking on the Google Maps.
We dipped our toe.
We stayed a night in France.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, fantastic.
So I really don't know where to begin with it. So we've gone over the concept of the trip. I mean, it's a week-long vacation. Once again, we fly into Munich and collect our bikes. And then we ride to various castles along the way.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The reason this tour is so much different from the Dolomites training tour is that this is a training tour a step beyond. This is for people who want to see the most out of a place, which means you need to move.
Right.
You can't stay in the same hotel every day.
And it was a very different vibe. Now, I'm going to go straight to Brian and Corey. So, Brian and Corey, you were both on one bike. That's going to change for 2024, I know. Because, Corey, you're going to be riding your own bike.
Absolutely, yeah.
But every destination, you have to unload the clothes you need for the next day. You have to get showered. You have to get yourself prepared for the next day before you even really settle in for the night,
Yes.
which is different for the Dolomites. So I would like to talk about both of your experiences of the trip. And I'll start with you, Corey, as the non-rider. And I know that's going to change next year.
Yes.
But let's talk about how it was for you as the non-rider.
Yeah. So being the pillion, right, being the backpack, it allowed me to see so many things and details about this amazing country that most of you guys that were riding your bikes were so focused on the riding that I think there's things that you missed. So, I'd like to encourage, if you're not a rider but you want to go up with your partner, by all means, embrace the journey, because to be able to just sit on the back of the bike and see the details and take in the scenery. I mean, we went through an incredible canyon, and at the top of this canyon was a shelf, and on the shelf was this amazing stag statue, and no one saw it. And here I'm, we have comms, and I'm like, oh, look at that! And I was like, oh, I'm going to make people crash. Don't crash! Don't look! Keep your eyes on the road. So there was a lot of that, So I had to be careful what I gasped and was excited about. But so riding 2 up. And then packing. There's a lot to consider when you pack. So, probably a month before, putting your day's worth of clothing in Ziploc bags and compressing that. And it's 3 days worth of clothes, but you're gone for 7, 8, 9 days. And to pack 2 people's gear on one bike. After doing life that way for a week, I think I could do life like that going on forward.
Yeah. What bike you guys wanted? Like a big one, a 12?
We were on the
GS.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and we ride that anyways. We have one of those, so it was pretty familiar. But yeah. Oh, Bagel's here.
Oh, hello, Bagel. Thank you for joining us, darling. I am sorry I sprung you early. Hello.
Hey, Bagel.
Hello, Bagel.
Hello.
Hello. We sprang an early start on Bagel, so hopefully he's not too angry about us. So, Bagel, just to bring you up to speed, we are doing a pretty much standalone show this week about the castles and curves. However, it's of great interest to you because...
Oh, yes.
You know, Cat and Mouse are going to be working on doing some scooter variants, hopefully.
Oh, sweet.
Ooh,
So, yeah.
that would be very interested.
So,
Did you go through Liechtenstein? Liechtenstein?
No,
How do you
no,
say
we
it?
didn't. No.
No. It sounds like something out of Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And the castle sort of looks that way too.
Does it?
Yes.
Well, it's a fascinating bit of geography you all
Oh
went
my
through.
gosh. Yeah.
I would say the best thing about Liechtenstein, and you're going to laugh about this, were the snails.
Oh, okay, tell more. Now we're curious.
no, I think that tells you all you need to know about Liechtenstein.
Yeah, that's it.
And I'll probably get a very, very angry email from 2 or 3 listeners who actually join us from Liechtenstein. Ours is a beautiful country, and we have very beautiful snails.
Hopefully they taste good.
But-
Hopefully they taste good.
But
It is a very beautiful small country.
Okay.
But there is a great deal of travelling, and you know, it's packing is always problematic because you're wearing motorbike gear and it's kind of clunky, and you always want to make sure you got clean knickers. You always want to make sure you got clean socks.
And if they're not clean, you can wash them and hang them on your handlebars and go
And
see it. Like, just
a
make sure you
couple
clean
of
the
times,
skins.
I think actually at the first hotel, I had a room overlooking the road, and I washed all my knickers,
I have a
and I
picture.
hung them.
I have a picture.
Hung them out on
I
the
have a
roof
picture of
over
Miss
the
Emma's
road.
knickers.
But you become. But remember, that was week 2 for me.
That's
because
right.
I'd already done the Dolomites tour.
It's not unusual to have some underwear sticking out of the top case to air dry while we're riding.
Yes.
Right.
Zip flapping.
Well, I think what was that castle, Mouse, that we went to that was that crazy incline through town to get up?
That was Kokum.
Yes, Kokum. And if you
With the cobblestones and the very, very
How do you spell it?
Cochem.
But also the one that became a school was the same. That one was pretty.
right.
Yeah.
But
That's
if you-
hoping to begin.
Yes, if you remember rightly, my bike was covered in my underwear.
Yes, it
because
was.
it was a sunny day, and I draped all my underwear and socks all over the
Yes.
mirrors and the handlebars
And I had
to let them
specific
dry.
instructions to not take pictures too close.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway,
But
And we got out before the rain hit the cobbles down the hill.
Yeah.
So that was
Exactly.
perfect.
Oh, this looks like something out of a postcard.
It
looks
is.
magical. It is, yeah.
And we actually
Totally.
stayed across the river, so that was the view we had.
Oh,
it was
my
just
goodness.
stunning.
It's
Magical.
absolutely wild. So, from a passenger point of view, you get to see all this fantastic scenery.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, there were times when we had to jump on the Autobahn, on the freeway, but it was few and far between. We really had to gun it when we were on the Autobahn. I felt, a couple of times we were playing catch-up, and we really had to move on the Autobahn, but it wasn't a problem.
only 120.
Yeah, but
Yeah, what were the top
Really?
speeds? I want to hear. Let's have a report. What were the top?
I don't
Autobahn
recall
speeds?
going that slow.
All right, 147, I think was the
So-
top.
Oh my goodness!
That
so
was 220 kilometers, which
Yeah.
is 130 something.
so
That's
yeah,
plenty quick.
So yeah, I think you got 230 out of the GS. I got about 225 out of the F9.
Nice.
Out of the F900, I was on the XR, which is the one you were on last year, the slightly sit-up
the
one.
upright with the fairing.
But I mean, you're talking 125 plus. But of course, you're on the Autobahn. The only thing that was a little unfortunate, the week we were there, I think every single person in Holland has a car with a trailer. Every single one. And they were all in Germany on that weekend. I have never...
Oh my goodness,
So
Emma! You're in your knickers. Is this on the side of the Autobahn? What were you doing?
I was
Sometimes you had to
changing.
change your clothes right there at a castle.
Oh
And
my
so
goodness!
I was changing into my trousers.
You should start an OnlyFans page.
I didn't want to miss a moment.
You could retire tomorrow.
No.
Get a foot up there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was like covering my modesty, darling. But,
This comes along with the very creative packing so that you can change on the side of the road.
right.
Okay.
How many I kind of lost count, and you can include the castles that we stay in. How many castles do we visit in the space of 5 days? Mouse.
There was a few we couldn't even get into, but
I'm going to say, well, the ones that we got into and the ones we stayed at, 7.
yeah, I want to say 7.
We did look at Hohenzollern, but we didn't go in.
The vertical hike that we did, the never-ending.
Yes, the stairs, the lots of
ascent.
stairs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you see castles in all those countries, or with all the castles in Germany?
All the castles were in Germany. We
Okay.
did see Haute Königsberg, which is in France.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, just curious. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's, amazing. I just, something that's really amazing about Germany is, and I spoke to Kat and Mouse a little bit about this, but I had no idea. Everything is very monochromatic and extremely organized. And their use of space, this country, the use of space, open space, their housing. I mean, their wood stacks, like, when we stack wood or we clear a field, it's just a mess. Perfectly stacked, symmetrical wood. It was amazing.
It's German efficiency.
Very efficient.
How's the pavement in general?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome. That's so cool.
I think we have one little sandy spot in, 1,000 miles, 10 hours a day of riding, that someone stuck their foot out and said, "Look out for that." That was it.
Yeah.
It was
the
perfect.
roads are generally very maintained. We visit some absolutely gorgeous cities, and in its own way, Munich is just a beautiful city.
Yeah.
It is.
But the little towns we go through, the little rural towns, that's what absolutely made it for me.
So how are German people, say, I mean, like, kind of a serious question, compared to, say, people in Scotland or France or somewhere? What's it like when you're in the German countryside?
Oh,
and
they're
you
so
pop in
welcoming.
somewhere? Are they?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
They are the most welcoming people. They're kind. They're accommodating. They want you to have the best time in their country because they get the notion that they're ambassadors for their country. The very, very first night we stayed in this darling pub. It was absolutely lovely. And it was just a little... How would you describe that, Mouse? I mean, you booked it.
It's actually a brewery. And this is something that's very unique to Germany, is that Germany has a ton of what you'd consider a bed and breakfast, but it's not. It's actually a brewery and breakfast. So they have usually anywhere from about 5 to 12 rooms.
Right.
They have breakfast beer.
That's why I was the breakfast and beer. I mean,
Yeah,
that's one
they
way to
can.
start your... Yeah.
But to give you an idea, they were very, very concerned about these bikes because, of course, we all turn up on spanking new BMWs, even though they're rentals. So the owner of the brewery walked across to see his friend who had the farmhouse across the way. And yes, of course, you can put all your bikes in my barn.
Big, beautiful
And so
barn.
all the
get
bikes
out.
got
Oh, that's
swallowed in the
cool.
barn, and it was secured, and they were safe and dry and ready for us.
Fantastic.
This is not uncommon. This has to do also with the friendliness of the country. People think Germans are a little bit stiff, but once you actually spend 2 minutes talking to them, the next thing you know, they're taking you on tour of their homemade brewery, and you're parking the bikes inside.
Yes.
They're walking you around town. It's magical.
And so generous. I think one of the guests on the tour collects license plates. And he wanted a license plate from Germany. And actually, I don't know if it was the owner of the brew house that we stayed at. She just said, "Here, I have one. Take this license plate." And so he actually got to go home with this authentic license plate from Germany.
Yeah.
Very hospitable,
Oh, that's
very
great.
generous people.
Which is
Yeah.
really cool because those license plates,
Right.
they're not only very specific to country, but they're very specific to the region, and they have the coat of arms of the region,
Yes.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
Bagel, do you have any coat of arms on some license plates?
Oh, yeah. I've got some German license plates.
Yeah. So,
And remember, all roads lead to Stuttgart, yeah?
So that's fast. So these mostly like 2-lane country kind of roads a lot of the
once you
time?
get out of the sticks.
Oh, it
yes.
must be beautiful.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. But Corey, I want to give Brian a crack at the whip as well, because so you got the same experience, Brian, but as the rider.
Right.
Tell me about the riding.
Yeah, so something interesting. This country was developed before there's transportation, right?
Right.
So every town, it's funny, every town's almost exactly the same out in the countryside. You got a roundabout before the city, then you go into the city, then there's another roundabout. and then it's about 10 miles to the next city, and it's about the same. And all these cities are, I don't know, 1,500 people or so.
Yep.
So they're all very similar, equally spaced, apart from each other. So it's pretty interesting the way.
And they're all quite charming, though, aren't they? In their own way?
they've got the little, watch your speed in town with the frowny face and the happy face. Right, so you try to get that green face before you come in there.
But every time I end up in southern Germany, I'm always struck by just how pretty it is. It is just an enormously pretty country. It really is. And to be able to experience it on a motorcycle, it's absolutely magical. It really is.
What's magic? Like what compared to other places? Like what are the things that really stand out to you about the riding?
Well,
is it mountainy? Is it like countryside?
It's everything.
Is it all the things?
No, it's all the
All
things.
the things.
Yeah, because you dip your toes into the. Do you dip into the Dolomites, or do you typically you stay a little north of that? So from Munich, where do you go east?
Well, cat and mouse.
Yes.
really came up with a plan for this. You're mostly in southern Germany, and you kind of just dip into Austria and you just dip into France, but you're mostly in the south of the country. How did you come up with the routes that we take, Mouse, and the castles you want to visit? Because as you point out, Germany is not short of castles.
No, Germany is not short of castles. I think I did not do the routing. Kat does all the routing. I know he wanted to get me to my favorite castle, which is in France.
Yes.
What's this one? I got to Google it.
That's the Hot Königsberg.
Yes.
How do you spell it?
I'll take it aside and type it in. Better yet, I'll actually show here.
There we go. That's it.
Oh, there's a book.
There's a
There's a book.
So we
make the book.
When you go on a Leod Escapes / Misfits tour, you get your very own booklet, which contains instructions on
Your
what we
routes.
expect from you, how you're going to find the riding, how you're going to find the locals, how you're going to find the destinations, and it is very, very complete.
How to work your chatterbox, how to use your GPS, how to skip waypoints, and every day has a list of all your waypoints that you're going to use for that day with the route. It also has pictures of what you're going to see and a short description of what you're going to be riding through.
Yeah.
Right, to give you an idea of what you get on this trip, you get communication, and you not only communication with your sweetie who may be on the back of the bike or on the front, you're communicating with everybody else in the group as well. You get a pre-planned route of every day. So theoretically, if you get separated from the group, you can find your way back.
Yeah.
And theoretically, like the Dolomites trip, if we do our job right as tour guides, you could easily do this tour by yourself next year.
Yeah. It was very thorough. Very, very thorough. So, yeah.
It's designed so hopefully by day 3, you're well enough to do everything on your own, just like the Dolomites tour. You have access to all the waypoints. You can go ahead. You can skip a castle. You can go see another castle. You can spend a longer time here.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Jim.
I'm just curious. So, like, if you're like on your, I know with Mouse and Cat you're taken care of, but if you're on your own kind of, how hard is it to do simple things like order food, like to pull off on the side of the road at a little town and order food properly?
It's the easiest thing in the world.
Is it?
Easy.
Yeah.
There's a couple of methods to do it. You can do the old point method.
Oh, yeah, true.
Because you'll get a menu.
Google Translate.
But
Yep.
Google Translate does more than just if you speak, it'll tell you what it is in German. You can actually hold it above a menu, and it'll translate it into English in real
Really?
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you see something that looks very tasty, and you hold the Google Translate on it, and it's like young pig's testicles marinated in eel jelly.
You're like,
I
where's
had
the
that.
quantity?
I think I might give that a miss this time. Where's the schnitzel?
And what's the go-to food in southern Germany? What's the?
Oh, I eat anything, darling.
I see.
Beer.
Schnitzel.
It's all. Is it all
Schnitzel.
No, it's beer.
schnitzel and sausage and beer,
Weissbier.
or are they known
Weiss
for
beer.
something different?
Yeah, Weissbier
Weiss beer,
or
like
Hellbier.
the lighter
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah, the light beer. That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, darling. No, I mean the food generally is for breakfast. You're not going to get a hot breakfast. It's cold cuts, it's breads, it's cheese, gallons of coffee, gallons of juice,
real cream.
Yeah, real cream.
So good.
Yes.
And that's
real
a typical
cheese.
breakfast. You know, all the cold cuts of meat, all the cheeses, all the breads you could possibly want.
Yeah.
Normally you can get scrambled eggs and things
If
like
you
that.
want. But it's almost a shame to do it because it's so nice eating just the traditional way.
Yeah.
And all from probably within like 15 miles of where
absolutely.
you're eating and all that stuff.
Even
right?
in Munich, even in large cities, you will see the farm trucks coming in at 5 a.m. to deliver milk and eggs.
They have actually, and Mouse and I noticed this, and they have little vending booths, little like a vending machine where you would get fresh cheese, eggs, cream in a vending machine on the
Sausages.
corner in this little
Sausage.
sausages. And as soon as you enter this little village, there's this vending machine like you would imagine chips and candy, but it's all of this amazing dairy products and real food. It was fantastic.
So
And
Brian,
lots of farms.
So, Brian,
Lots of farms. You can get baskets of strawberries
oh my
anywhere.
God. Really? Strawberries?
Yeah.
Strawberries everywhere.
But I was going to ask, so Brian, you are a husky fellow with a healthy appetite. What did you make of the food?
Yeah, I would say it was fine.
Yeah. did you
A resounding endorsement.
Yeah.
Again, the beer is fine. The problem is in America, we've got a million styles of beer,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So if you think Germany is going to be the greatest beer in the world, probably not.
You're
but
talking
it's
to
good.
a beer snob. So.
I mean, it's good.
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, everything was sufficient.
It like
Right.
lets you like a good Hocker Shore.
Yes.
yeah.
I think the biggest takeaway is, for me, 1 hour on the road, I'm completely comfortable. People drive like they should.
Right.
I mean, if you're a motorcyclist in California, you have no problem. Other parts of the country, we tend to forget that in California, we split lanes, filtering. It's all part of the thing. And if you're not used to that,
Right.
it could be, and the German drivers are like California drivers, but without the cell phones.
Right. And
So they're courteous and they're aware. So,
And I think they're
Very
very
good drivers.
respectful
Yep.
towards motorcyclists as well.
Absolutely.
Did you think at any stage that we were doing too much riding between destinations? Or did you find it about right?
yeah, I understand it's the first one. And, we did have some long days, from 8 in the morning until getting to the hotel at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. It was a bit, but I mean, the riding was good.
Yeah.
Right. And again, we were flogging those bikes. Again, I've owned a GS for 10 years. I've never rode my GS as hard as I've rode that with somebody on the back.
We were riding hard.
And
we were
that's
riding
actually
hard.
going to change a bit. This is something that you learn when you do a first time tour. Everything looks really beautiful when it's on paper.
Yeah.
Paper.
Yeah.
And then the minute you do it and you realize there's delays, you couldn't find parking somewhere, and you had to add in extra time because there was a long line to get your ticket, and all these little things add up. So when you allot for 2.5 hours to see this castle, suddenly it's really 3.5 hours.
Yeah, yeah. I think you had a great group, though. I think that you just had the perfect group for your pilot test. I think that
Yes,
you had a variety of riders.
What was the group? I'm curious.
So there was really 9 of us, and I think.
What's a good size?
But I think that 3 of those it was Cat and Mouse and Emma. So there were 6 riders, and a variety of skill level. And so, but I think everyone was all in, and we knew that it was a first time. And so let's see what this is all about. And so I think you had a great group that was willing to let's try this.
I love the can-do attitude, and we're just going to see what we can see, and
So
we're
it
going to have a
works.
great time. And it was that wonderful attitude of exploration.
Yeah.
But as I said, we learned. So things are going to be altered, and days will be shortened a bit, and routes will be shortened a bit for next year.
Yeah.
But it's a very, very different tour to the Dolomites. And I think if you're on the fence about whether to do the Dolomite... Is that you, Henry?
quiet down over there.
It's one of those motorcycle club guys. Those motorcycle
it's-
gang
No, he's got
guys.
his fresh patch. He can do whatever he
Actually, you
wants.
know what?
Fresh leather. We should recognize Henry's achievement.
No,
Yes,
we all
we're
need to take a
going
drink
to
break.
we're going to right now because I'm going to go on
shit.
off on one of my one of
Because
my
he's swilling
tangents.
moonshine over there.
So Henry has been absent for a little while from the podcast.
I mean, I've been around.
No,
but-
I know.
Been at Pelican Hill.
However, you showed up today, and
Yes.
would you like to tell everyone on the podcast your achievement?
I am now officially a member of the Vampires Motorcycle Club.
Well done.
Congratulations.
Patched
Awesome.
in.
Patched
Congratulations.
in. How long
you.
did it take you?
It took me exactly a year. The
Right.
Did you have to clean
Wow.
Mikey 3 times underwear every
Oh
week?
yeah, I mean, he helped me with that, but
Sounds like
no.
Catholic
You're like, okay,
I'm
to
sure
get
he
in.
was saving up for you.
Well, congratulations, Henry.
Yeah, the vampires are one of the groups that sort of like hang around the garage, like Doug, Adrian, Mike, Charlie. They're all members, and it's been a long time coming, I would say.
So was
I'm
it
very
scary when you had to run that kilo of heroin down to Laughlin? We're recording.
Yeah, the prison wall at the, the heroin.
Right. However, as much as I congratulate you, don't make noise like that with your. What are those ice cubes in
The
that?
aluminum water bottle.
That water bottle. I think it is. It's something like that. Anyway.
Just call it his flask. It sounds better.
Flask.
Exactly. So we do these 2 tours, both with Leod Escapes. Do the Dolomites tour, which is... It's very much its own thing. It's a hard riding tour. You have the advantage of staying in the same hotel for the duration of the tour, which there's a lot of advantage to that, and you can do as much or as little as you want, but you have the unpredictability of the weather within the Dolomites.
Yeah.
The Castles and Curves tour is quite different. It's more of a tour. I see it more of a grand tour. We're covering a lot more ground. We're seeing a lot of different things. There are certainly longer days involved. I'm not sure which is my favourite. I mean, they both bring so many different things to the table.
So do you have to be a better rider for one of these, or is it sort of anybody can ride it?
So here's my take, and hopefully Brian and Corey might agree with this.
Yeah.
If you are a more marginal rider, as bizarre as it's going to sound, the Dolomites may be a better trip for you. And I'll tell you why. Because you can ride your own ride. You can find a group with a skill level that matches yours, and you can, once you're in the hotel, the longest day on the Dolomites trip is Germany to Italy, to your destination. And it's a very, very easy, straightforward ride. Once you're embroiled in the hotel in the Hotel Contarina, you're there for the duration. And so you can choose the ride you take every day. And if you're a slightly more marginal rider, you just find a group of like-minded individuals, or you could even ride on your own.
Mm-hmm. Or the other thing too, which comes in handy when you're in the mountains and the weather is so unpredictable, is that if you've got a bad storm coming in, you'd have a lazy morning. You go for an afternoon ride.
Right.
And that's highly doable.
Exactly. Now you don't have that choice with Castles and Curves. Mm-hmm. Every day you have a destination to get to. Mm-hmm. And if you get behind on the first day, you're going to be more behind on the second day, you're going to be more behind on the third day. We're tweaking the rules a little bit. And I talked about this a little bit with the Dolomites tour, and I'll really cement that with this. Included in the cost of the tour, and this is what I want to say, it is included, is the Champion Riding School. This is a legit riding school. This is Fast Freddie Spencer's school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ooh, really?
Yeah.
This is Freddie Spencer's riding school.
This is online, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's an online course. Previous years, we have said, complete the riding course, you'll be fine. If you want to sign up for this course, you not only have to complete the course, you have to prove to us you have completed the course with a certificate of completion.
Oh, so can sign up for Castles and Curves. Yeah.
And practice.
And practice. This needs to be done before the tour, not the week before.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Practice what you've learned.
Exactly.
How long does this training take?
Oh, you can take
It's online training. You can do it whenever
Like
you want.
8 hours, 10 hours?
Total accumulative, I think.
How long did you spend doing it?
So what ended up happening too, so Brian was assigned the course because I was the pillion.
Right.
And so there was a lot that I missed about the requirements for this ride because I was not a rider. Right. And after my experience with Castles and Curves, it is an advanced, it's a little more advanced level riding. There's a skill set that's required because we have an itinerary. We've got certain points that we have to get to by EOD, end of day. And after the ride, this tour was life-changing for me. So when I got home, I took the Champ U school. And then what I realized was how essential this is to actually have to do the Castles and Curves because, it's castles, but it's also curves. And we are doing some serious curve riding. This is some serious riding and navigating traffic. And, I have to say that being a rider since, I was 5, I have a lot of time in the saddle, but with a dirt bike background. But we all, and I think we're all guilty of this, we all know what we know. Right, when it comes to our motorcycle skills. And so it was eye-opening to me. It's kind of like, well, I know what I know. After this tour and doing Champ U, there was a whole ton I did not know. And it sparked a flame in me to just continue my skills and take classes. And is, I'm a decent rider, but I want to be better. And so, yeah. And so I'm going to call everyone out, right? So we all think that we've got it going on with our riding, because we've been riding, but you don't know what you don't know. So expand your learning when it comes to your riding. 1, it'll save your life, but 2, how much more fun would you have? I mean, how much more fun if I'd have done Castles and Curves without doing Champ U? I would not have had near as fun as I'm going to have next year with all the training, all I'm going to invest in my training.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The level of confidence it gives you that you don't have to focus on your riding as much as it's something that's practiced, it's ingrained. You know it.
Yeah.
You're moving with it. It expands everything.
Right. Yeah.
And it make no mistake, we're riding 100 horsepower bikes. They've got razor edge power delivery. They've got razor edge handling. They've got the sharpest brakes imaginable. You need your wits about you to ride these things and ride them properly. And we are riding them properly. So that's the big difference from 2023. If you want to sign up for 2024, it is mandatory. I don't care how much skill level you've got. You have to complete Champ U school. You've got to complete it in order to move forward on with the tour. And just, do it. I've been riding 45 years. I was mesmerized with Champ U because it's not just they're teaching you things, they're explaining why things happen when they go wrong. They're explaining what's happening with the bike when they're going right. You're going to learn something. Yeah. You could have been riding all your life and riding to a very, very high standard. You're going to learn something. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
And most riders do. Most riders do. I would say everyone who has done, I've done this school, they do Champ U school. I've heard about this technique, but no one's explained it quite this way, and now I get it.
Yeah.
So it's the Yamaha one, right?
Yeah, it's Yamaha Champ U.
So I'm looking at it right now. So it's only $89.
Yeah, but it's nothing.
They provide it
because it's included.
It's included in your tour.
It's included, so it costs nothing.
But if any of our listeners want to do it, it's only $90. And
for a sporty rider, I'd say it's absolutely mandatory. Yeah. If you ride a cruiser or a Harley, you're going to learn something.
Right.
But the techniques involved there, it's absolutely vital for how we ride these bikes on the holiday.
I mean, physics is the same. It doesn't matter the bike that you ride.
Oh, absolutely.
I have to say that, no matter what your vibe is, what your riding style is, or, your crew. And I'm a safety person, right? That's my whole thing. It's like, learn your skills. Brian is an amazing advocate for motorcycle safety and just his skill set and the training that he has invested in his own riding.
And he's an amazing rider.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you felt like you got stuff out of it still, as long as you've been riding?
Champ school, yeah, absolutely. And I was instructor for Superbike coach. So
oh wow.
So yeah, I got stuff out of it. Everything you do, any other class, you're going to glean something from it, right? And here's another thing, another skill that a lot of motorcycling community doesn't have is low speed skill. So like Moto Jitsu or something like that. But that if you can do a full bar lock turn,
love Moto Jitsu,
both directions. This is going to help you significantly. Parking at those castles, up
absolutely.
on a hill. Man, if you can't do a full bar lock turn, man, if you have to do an 8-point turn in the middle of a road because there's a blocked road or there's road construction, man, you're just not going to have any fun. If you can whip up there, do a full ball like turn around, it's going to help.
So even my stretch boost, I could. Do it?
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, within reason, but when we're going through these little towns in Germany, there's a road blocked,
and we hit that.
And then your navigation. The problem with the BMW GPS is great. It shows you where the speed zones are, where the speed cameras are. However, it doesn't show you where traffic is or if there's a. So what I would suggest is it costs $10 a day to have your phone package upgraded to European. Whatever you use to navigate day to day here, have that running in the background.
$10 a month.
So
$10
actually,
a day. It's a day for the
$10 a day.
Yeah, for the data pass. Yeah.
Generally,
money well spent.
I don't get involved in pumping up corporations because I think they're the devil incarnate. But I had a lovely surprise on this tour. I took my work phone with me. Oh God, I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
And I'm with T-Mobile.
Yeah, same.
And every time I got into a new country, I'd have this little message: "Welcome to Switzerland. Your T-Mobile plan includes X amount of coverage in this country."
Yeah.
It was fantastic. It didn't cost me a penny.
Yeah.
T-Mobile sucks. I have it for where
same.
I live,
Same.
and my calls drop all the time.
Right.
I
But
literally have to walk a couple of houses down to get better reception. But the reason I have it is because everywhere else in the world I go,
Yeah.
it works fantastic, and I pay zero.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about. But as an overall holiday, life-changing, Corey?
Yes, absolutely. So, I travel for work. I've been a lot of places for work. And this was an amazing opportunity to travel a different way. And I have to tell you, going forward, I will probably never travel again for vacation. It's got to be on two wheels, and I got to have, my top boxes and my saddlebags. And that's the only way I'll go going forward. This experience was absolutely life-changing. And
seriously,
fantastic.
it's just such an
So
incredible way to see the world.
Yeah.
And you're not limited. I mean, even if you go to Venice, which is,
That's next.
a city without wheels.
Yes.
You know what? You pull your bag out of the pannier.
Yep.
You take the Vaporado in.
Yep.
You're set.
Absolutely. And
I
Jim,
mean, you've learned how to live out of a small space.
so much so. And Jim asked, what's the benefit? People, we actually have some friends of ours that are going to be going to Munich next year, and they're renting a car, and they're going to do a car tour and find all the great places. And Cat and Mouse did such an excellent job with all the details on this trip, and it's all done for you. And on a motorcycle, you get to go into these little farming villages and these areas that you just wouldn't think to go, or probably couldn't even find if you were going to do a car tour or a bus tour. And so the flavor, the rhythm, just the whole adventure was so different than anything you would get on your standard European, European vacation.
And I was going to tell them to go to Kokum, right?
Yeah.
Because it's such a cool city. Then I was like, you could drive your car up to that castle. And I'm like,
No, you couldn't.
No,
you
you
can't.
really
You
can't.
can't. You're going to be hiking.
we're riding down this we're riding down this cobblestone shopping center. It looks like something out of James
There's no
Bond.
way you get there.
It's literally pedestrian only most of
I
the
know,
day.
we're
We aggravated some people a little bit, I think, with the motorcycles.
Well,
but
we
it
were
was
supposed to be out of there a little bit before we left.
but it was awesome.
One of the things about motorcycling, and I've said this before, so if you've heard me say this before, please forgive me. If you're in a car, the more expensive your car becomes, the more you are removed from the experience of driving.
Yes.
If you're rattling along in a Ford Fiesta, you're feeling every bump, you're hearing every noise, it's like being in a tin can. If you're lucky enough to own a Bentley, that car separates you completely from the road. You might as well be looking at a television screen when you look out of the windshield.
Yeah.
You can't hear anything.
You can't smell anything.
You can't smell anything. When you're on a motorcycle, even a very, very high-end motorcycle, the BMW that Brian and Corey were riding is probably a $30,000 bike.
26, but yeah.
With the options, $30,000.
Yeah.
That's a very high-end motorcycle. You feel every feel. You feel the bike underneath you. You smell every smell.
Yeah.
You hear everything. You're really immersed in this thing that's traveling.
Yes.
It's an amazing way to travel.
It's like feel it, taste it, touch it, smell it. I mean, when you're in a box on wheels, you're not going to have the same experience, So when we're going through the twisties, these amazing mountainous curves, and even being the pillion, and I still want to encourage, whether it be budget or you just want to two up, in those corners, I'm still riding like I was riding my own bike behind Brian. But the same thing, feel it, taste it, smell it, touch it, experience. If you were in a car, it would not be the same thrill or feel.
Corey, even saying that, I think there's something very romantic about this trip.
Absolutely.
And I think if you want to go with your sweetie, it's a perfect. It really is a perfect trip for that.
It really
is. And I think that Cat and Mouse have really put something very, very special together.
Special.
And it's not just the biking, it's it's what we do at the weekend before, it's what we do at the closing weekend, it's the beer garden, it's the rider meeting. There's something just very special about this week away.
Yeah. It's the romanticism of beautiful medieval castles.
Absolutely.
And just on everything. And Corey said something very, very sweet to me this afternoon that I know you want to share. You were so eager to share this.
I really do. Yeah. So I have to tell you, if you're listening to this podcast and you're really intrigued and you want to go on this tour, I highly encourage it. Just come on along. And if you can, book it so that you can be a day before the tour departs and stay a day after, because I was able to experience. We all went with Miss Emma the day before the tour started to the All Things That Go Museum.
The Verkehr Museum.
Yes. And so I do have some interest in mechanical things, but I have to say Emma made that experience in that museum absolutely magical. The depth of knowledge, the passion, and there's such a romantic approach when she's talking about all of these vehicles from different eras. And I could have, if I'd have been with anybody else, I'd be like, la la la, probably not so interested. But I was so drawn in by just hearing her describe all of these vehicles, and there was such a it was so worthwhile to experience that depth of knowledge, the passion, and how you look at mechanical things with this romantic view, the curves of the vehicles, the types of the engines, the paint. This was in this decade, whether it was 1920 or 1940. It's so much history, and the history is so rich. But to hear Emma explain these things, it was amazing, So I really, that made it for me. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. And it's funny because we're
going to hire you out as the tour guide for that museum next year.
Henry, are you?
He's going pee-pee.
Well, yes. Yeah, I mean, you've been pounding the water, Henry. You need to empty the bladder.
You're excused.
At some stage in the museum, I noticed one of the tour guides was actually hovering around and listening.
Hanging out. I need, taking notes.
I think he was waiting for his opportunity to correct you, because that thing made by an airplane.
The Rumpler.
He then stepped in and was like, actually.
Yes,
and then he was like, well, actually.
Yeah, no, and he was quite right. So they've got this absolutely amazing vehicle in the Verkehrsmuseum called a Rumpler Tropfenwagen. And the Rumpler, it was a car of the future from the 1920s, and it was shaped like a teardrop. And the designer was very, very into aeronautic design, and I thought it was done for fuel efficiency, and the docent of the museum said no, it wasn't. It was actually designed very specifically to keep the dust of the road down.
Does it look like a soapbox derby?
That's the
car?
Rumpler. Yes, that is the Rumpler.
Oh my
and in real life, and
Does
in
it
real
float?
life,
That's the front.
yeah,
It looks like a boat.
yeah.
Well, no, I mean it's built on sound aerodynamic principles. If you look at it from the top, it is the shape of an airfoil. It cuts through the air. But I thought it was for efficiency, but it was apparently to keep the dust down to a minimum because, of course, the roads were dirty. But, I mean, it's a lovely, lovely trip. It's a very gentle trip. It's a very romantic trip.
It is.
We're riding wonderful motorbikes. We're eating fantastic food.
Fantastic.
It really was an absolutely superb thing.
There were all these beautiful little touches, and I don't know if everyone else noticed this, but at the brewery we stayed at in Bayern, our napkins were the monogram of the hotel.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So Germans they're everything is done very well.
Yeah.
They take a lot of pride in everything they do.
Yeah. The castle we stayed at, Kolmberg.
Yes.
For those of us who had meat on a stick, our meat on a stick was a sword.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. The food was actually amazing. The food and the breakfast every morning, we were never hungry, and lunch was fantastic. And the beer gardens, I think the first day when we went to these different museums.
We went to the beer garden
with
for
this
lunch.
half a grilled chicken and this amazing potato salad. I was like, there was the food. I mean, oh my gosh. It's all about the food.
Germans love their food.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah.
So if you are into... Oh, there's the train.
There goes the train.
There goes the tourist train. So if you are interested in signing up for 2024, we will provide the links on our website. In fact...
There's also the video recap.
Yes.
So hang on. I have got... Let's have a look. Because I think I have some links here on my telephone. These things are absolutely amazing.
So I want to add, being now that I'm just this training in ride and learn more about your motorcycle mindset. I've got quite a bit of training planned for the next year. If you want to start participate and have these experiences, think about it. Right now, you have 9 months. Right. To perfect your, to just improve your riding.
What do you know? What training you have lined up? Do you have things already kind of specific?
So I do, and I'm a trainer. I love to teach and I love to train, and so I believe that the more instructors, just glean what you can. So I've been doing Moto Jitsu. I've downloaded the app, and so I'll go maybe 10 or 15 minutes before we go for a ride, and I'll start working on my turns and just because you're going to hit that U-turn or something. So Moto Jitsu, and then next Sunday. I'm going to do a cornering class in Stockton with Kanakaya Superbono.
Oh, is that with the on the go-kart track?
Yeah. So
he's still doing that?
That's a great class.
Yes, it's great.
That's a great class.
Yeah. So I'm going to do that, and then I've been doing some research on just like who are the ADV guys that we're talking about?
Rawhide?
Like going rawhide. Just as much training as I can get now because, growing up racing motocross and now riding street bikes for really 5 years.
And you got a sweet bike right now.
I do have a sweet bike. I love my bike right now.
And what do you have?
I have the F750 GS.
A new one, right?
A brand new one.
I'd also recommend doing just track days and stuff like that as training for these tours because riding bikes on the edge will give you the experience of what it's like to, ride these bikes, loaded all the way up through Stelvio Pass. It's great.
Absolutely. Something else I want to recommend is that great crew, loved everybody. Can't wait to see everybody again who was on this tour. And what happened was there were some folks that were used to their bikes. And they rented some amazing BMWs that they're very technical and they're amazing, but they had never ridden them before. So when I go to the Dolomites, when I do that ride, I'm actually going to be riding the F900R. I've ridden one a little bit, but so I want to do like a demo day and a track day and really just ride the snot out of that bike so that when I go to the Dolomites, I'm confident. I have the feel of the bike. I know what to expect. I'm not going in green.
That's great because you're already traveling and everything else.
And,
someone invest.
Yeah,
exactly.
right on. That's a
So
great
go
idea.
down your BMW dealer.
Yeah.
Look at the bikes. You're going to see that what bikes are available to you at the rental when you go on to the Leod Escapes. Go and actually have a look at the bikes. Have a sit on them. Yeah. If they've got demonstrators, demo the bikes. If they don't have demonstrators, go on Twisted Road.
Yes.
See if there's a BMW on Twisted Road that you can rent. Now, look, I've got some links for you here. So if you go onto YouTube, if you just do Castles and Curves 2023 Summary, that's the YouTube link. Castles and Curves 2023 Summary. That's the title. If you want to go onto the Leod website link, https www.leodescapes.com/pages/motorcycles-misfits-castles-curves-training-tour. Sounds like a mouthful, but it's basically Leod Escapes, Motorcycles and Misfits Training Tour. There's a booking link, and all the booking goes through WeTravel, www.wetravel.com, trips 2024, Castles Curves Training Tour, Leod Escapes Munich, 4071727. I made a horse's ass of that, so I'm going to do it again. 4071727. If you have any problems with them, we'll put the links up. Do it. Hang out with us.
Yes.
We're great people.
Yeah.
We like eating and drinking beer.
Yes.
Do a simple search. Leod Escapes, WeTravel, Castles and
And
Curves.
layout is Leod.
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 But yeah, if you go onto YouTube and just do the Castles and Curves 2023 Summary, you'll get straight there. You'll see us having a lot of fun on these bikes.
Now, there are going to be, just like we did with the Dolomites, we learn, we train, things are a little bit different. We are going to shorten the days a little bit. We're going to change some of the routes. We're going to take out one of the castles, put another one in its place. We're going to reverse the order.
Oh, nice.
Ooh. And there are two additional things we're going to include in the cost of the tour. Number one, the upgrade on the motorcycle insurance.
Yes.
50 euros. Okay, that brings your deductible down to €100.
And that is included. So if I could just explain that, Mouse, and we explained it with the Misfit Tour. When you rent a vehicle, whether it's a motorcycle, whether it's a Ford Taurus, whether it's a Lamborghini Countach, it doesn't matter. You rent a vehicle, there is a deductible. And the deductible is the amount you pay if you wreck it. And a lot of people don't understand how deductibles work. If you wreck that vehicle and you do $501 worth of damage, you're going to pay $500.
Yeah.
And the rental company's going to pay $1. That's how it works. Now, we can reduce that down to $100. And it
Euros in this case, right?
100 euros, forgive
euros.
me. And it only costs 50 euros. It sounds like, hang on a minute, but it is the bargain of the century.
Yeah,
These are
really is.
BMWs. You can do $3,000 worth of damage
In one
just by having it fall off its side stand. So
Cobblestones.
exactly. In previous trips, we have offered that as an option. And when we do the rider meeting, I always stand up and do my little spiel and say, spend the extra 50 euros, get it reduced down. This year, we're not even going to give people the option.
No, it's
we're
gonna
going to
be
include it because it is such a good deal and it's so vital. Sorry, Mouse. Off
But
you go.
this is a really, really great deal because the other vendors that we deal with in Italy and Spain, none of them will allow us to bring the deductible down more than 2,000 euros.
Wow.
So shout out for BTS Motorcycle Rental,
huge
who were great.
Shout out to
Oh, they were
BTS. We
fantastic.
love Dirk.
Yeah.
If I could do all of my tours with Dirk, because it's the German efficiency.
Yes.
The bikes are there.
Yeah.
The bikes are what you wanted.
Yeah, and shout out to those guys. A lot of new people coming to rent bikes, and the guys at the shop were so patient and
Always.
and so helpful. They dialed everyone in so well, took their time, answered questions. Just a really great group of guys there.
They are.
Yeah.
And they always do a briefing. They show all the logistics of the bikes. They always do, how this is what your bikes worked. Here's how you use the toggle. They do a great overview, so everyone feels relatively safe by the time they get on their bike. The second thing that's going to change for the next tour, what's going to be included in the cost of your tour, is the entrance ticket to Nirvanstein.
Oh,
because this was a logistical thing that I deal with. When you're working with multiple castles, seeing multiple castles in multiple days, you have to buy tickets. You can't always buy your ticket there.
yeah.
A lot of them, because these are very popular tourist attractions, there's timed entries on days. And if you do not hit that specific time at that specific day, you're out.
Is that the castle that's the model after the Disney
Yes.
castle? Yeah, fantastic area. Yeah, that was a wonderful.
Yes.
We didn't go
So-
inside that one, but just spending the day outside, and it was fantastic. It was, yeah.
And I have been by it several times. This was my first time I actually went in it.
Fantastic.
And I would happily say I do it again and again. It is a fairy tale castle, but the inside is spectacularly gorgeous. And this was actually done with an artist's view. And it's really a love letter to the composer Wagner.
Oh, wow.
So it's very mythical. It's very fantastical. And it's just stunning.
All right. We'll be
And so that's why I'm including the cost of that ticket to make sure everyone gets in to see it.
well, now I have to do next year's. ride.
By the way, I'm watching the Castles and Curves summary. This is a great video. You really get a... There's a picture of me showing off a piece of cake. This is a great video, and it really shows exactly what it was like. I mean, this is a very, very good example of what we do, and the bikes look great, and the scenery looks great, and all those things. So, yes, fantastic.
But I have to say, this tour was logistically, for me, it was a fuck ton of work.
Yeah, I can, and it shows. It absolutely shows. Yeah.
But what I was really proud of is the fact that Hohentubigen, and this is something that I'm sure it got over encompassed by some of the bigger castles that we saw. It's not really a castle. It's really a university.
Yeah.
It was a castle that was turned into a university. It has 7 museums. Actually 9.
Yeah.
7 that are always there, 2 that rotate.
Yeah.
Wow.
They only do tours 2 days a week. We were there on one of the days they don't do a tour. So by email, I contacted the docent, who then put me in touch with somebody else, who then put me in touch with somebody else. And I was able to purchase a custom tour for our group when we got there. And here you think, if you were doing this in America, you'd get one of the interns, who's still learning but hasn't been trusted with all the great duties. Who did we get?
We had a professor.
We had the doctor of archaeology, the head of archaeology, who speaks ancient Greek.
Yes.
Be our guide.
She was great.
Fantastic.
Kristen was fantastic.
Everyone on this tour was fantastic.
Absolutely. So not only just your passion for motorcycles, right, and touring a country, if you have a passion for architecture, if you have a passion for history, Brian's depth of knowledge with history is, and art, music. This tour is going to touch on so much, and the depth of history that's in this country, and what's behind and inside these castles that go back to 1,000. 1100 before. You will come back wiser, a little more knowledge, a little more. Yeah,
You'll come back a better rounded person.
Yes,
So,
agreed.
I do want to wind this up because there's a couple of things I want to talk about aside from Castles and Curves, as great as it was tonight.
Well, I'm out.
I would like to really give a shout out to Cat and Mouse.
Absolutely.
I've been in the tourism industry, and there's this saying in the tourism industry: the harder you work, the better time your guests are going to have. And you can slice it and dice it any way you want. You're never going to get away from that equation. The harder you work, the better time your guests have. And I think that's so true in your case. The amount of work Kat puts in getting these routes down pat, getting the GPSs programmed, just working with all the vendors, working with the rental agencies, and the amount of work that you put in, Mouse, making sure that everybody's compliant, everybody's ready. These are fantastic tours. These are $1 million tours, and the hallmark of these tours, which is why I put my name on them, if you can afford a used motorbike, you can afford to go on one of our tours. And I never want to get away from that equation. If you can afford a reasonably priced used bike, you can go on one of our tours. How much is the Castles and Curves tour per person?
I think right now it's 25, 27.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing. If you're clever with your flight, you can do this tour for $4,000.
Mm-hmm.
If you're clever.
Yeah.
I left it too late, and I paid $2,000 for my flight, which upset me greatly. Yeah. But nevertheless, even with paying for $2,000 for my flight, even with the booze, even with the food, because I drink a lot on these tours.
It's your vacation.
Yeah, but it was still under $5,000, which is used bike money.
Yeah.
And that's for everything.
Yeah.
That's for everything. That's for the flight, the booze, your food, the bikes, the hotels, the transfers. Yeah. I want them to be good value for money. And as you pointed out, Corey, these are life-changing experiences.
Absolutely.
Now, Brian's a lot more stoic about these things, I know, Brian.
So there's one thing I would suggest. If you're going to do this,
yes,
make sure you fly in on a Friday night. That way Saturday, like especially if you're going to buy new gear for this trip.
Oh, yeah.
Wait until you get to Munich and buy the gear there. That way you've got a souvenir to take home with you. Because they've got gear that they don't sell over here. And the prices are reasonable. I got some Daytona boots I brought back.
That's right.
So.
And one of the things I do send out along with the packing list is things you can buy and where you can buy them in Munich.
Cool, that sounds fun.
Absolutely.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Hopefully
It's a complete tour. It really is complete. We're going to give you everything you need.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything.
You can see one of the things I brought back.
Yes. Excellent. Like castle.
So from a fashion point of view,
I love it.
from a fashion point of view, Mouse really is living in 2050. Because not only is she wearing a shirt with a German castle on it, she has matched the shirt to the colour of her hair. So her hair sort of blends seamlessly into the colour of this lovely V-neck T-shirt.
Lovely burgundy.
Yes, a lovely burgundy.
I love it.
And so...
Well, you have to pack right, and you have to have your priorities. And my priority for the Castles and Curves was having room to bring back 3 bottles of wine and 2 shirts, and that's exactly what I did.
Right.
Yeah.
I absolutely guarantee you are going to have the greatest time of your life.
Absolutely.
And I guarantee that.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't put my name anywhere near it if I didn't guarantee it. These trips are just the greatest thing I do. And it sounds like hubris, and it sounds like, I'm exaggerating. And they're not. They're just fantastic. You're going to sign up again, I hope, Henry.
Oh, yeah. I have plans.
Because you were on the first one.
I was on the first one, and I loved it. I have no regrets about doing it. It was absolutely incredible. I regret I wasn't able to go this year, but with work and all that kind of stuff.
2024?
I'll definitely make time for 2024.
Yes!
Yeah.
There's another one. So do you think you'll do the Dolomites, or are you going to try the Castles and Curves?
I think Castles and Curves sounds pretty interesting. It sounds pretty challenging. It sounds like proper sport touring, sort of like doing like iron butt kind of stuff.
It really is sport touring. We're covering miles. We're riding. Sometimes we are at the absolute limits of adhesion on these bikes on country roads.
Absolutely.
It really is sport touring with the emphasis on sport.
That's my game.
I know that's your game. I think knowing how you ride, Henry, I think Castles and Curves may
Like
be
an
a good
asshole?
fit. I didn't say that.
Like a Target.
So look, there you have it. Castles and Curves. It was a fantastic 2023. It's going to be an even better 2024. The only thing that's missing is you. Sign up for it. Make a new friend. Take your sweetie. Rekindle your marriage. I know your marriage has been going south. I know things have been going stale. You know, rekindle that love again. Take your sweetie to Germany and, stay in a castle and gaze
Show her some new schnitzel.
Yes, exactly. Look into each other's eyes and tell them you love them over a hell beer. It'll be great. What could possibly go wrong? Yes?
What happened to Hell Girl?
Hell Girl lives at my shop now.
Okay. You said Hell Bear, so Hell Girl.
So, no, Hell Girl... Hell Girl was the doll that I rescued from the top of a garage in Munich and spent all the time going through the Dolomites, all the time going through the Castles and Curves, and now she sits on my counter at Motortown. And if you want to visit Hell Girl, she will give you the traditional Hell Girl greeting, which is her eyes light up and her head spins around, steam comes out of her ears.
Did
Still
you
have
zip tie
nightmares.
in tongues.
I still have
to your
nightmares.
clutch perch or something like that?
From-
Yeah, I had a
watching
zip
me.
tie to my clutch perch.
God.
And here's the deal. The day I rescued her, I had a
And
sitting
a
up-
rescue it was, apparently.
It was quite a rescue. Thank you, puppy. I was actually quite worried about having her in my motel room. It was like, I'm not sure about this doll. I think this thing might be possessed.
You're braver than I.
Yeah.
That thing would have been outside with the door locked.
No. I had her sitting on over by the desk away from the bed. And I deliberately turned her away.
Of course.
But of course, when I woke up, she was
no.
facing the bed.
Oh,
and I'm
no.
like, oh, did I do that? But I might have been drinking a little bit. But guess what? She's coming for 2024.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So Hell Girl will be sitting in her spot on the clutch perch of my F900.
Yeah.
And she will be doing the Dolomites tour. And she will be doing the Castles and Curves tour, and her hairstyle will be getting even more crazy.
Yes. Yes.
You know, her hair did actually calm down a bit after you gave me the scrunchie.
Thank you. I had to fix her hair.
Yeah.
She was having a bad hair day, and I had to fix it.
Well, every day's a bad hair day for Hell Girl.
When you're on a motorcycle and you don't have a helmet,
Yep.
and you can't braid your hair, it's a bad hair
it's a
day.
bad hair.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And, the rain didn't help. Because, you know what? The thing to remember about Europe, the weather can be unpredictable. If you're in the Dolomites, it can be really unpredictable.
Jesus.
But even in Germany itself, you get sprinkles once in a while. So, be prepared, bring your gear, or be prepared to buy gear when you're there. But I tell you what, no, this is just a superb trip. Please sign up for it. Have the time of your life.
So much fun. And
Yes.
new friends. We made new friends.
Absolutely.
Always.
Forever.
We
Yeah.
had such a great time, and we had such a great group of people on both of them. I don't think I could have chosen a better tour to go with this year.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
And-
I mean, you are coming on 2024, of course.
Yeah, and now I know how much work is waiting me when I get back. I'm going to plan a little bit better this time.
I think the hard lift, I think the heavy lift has been done, right? Because you have the logistics, kind of have it down. There's just some
Yeah.
tweaks.
No,
Yeah.
the tour itself went great, and
Awesome. Perfect.
everything barring one hotel went exactly as it was supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's my personal work is while I'm on tour, I'm still getting the next 3-4 tours ready.
That's right.
So
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Okay, so
for the first person who signs up for Castles and Curves, I'm going to send them a downtown tourist map of Munich as a welcome, arrive early, get to know the city.
Awesome.
I tell you what, that is a big deal because there is a lot to see in Munich. And the one recommendation I do, if you can get the time off work, if you have a flexible enough schedule, take those extra days. Extra hotel days are not included in the tour, but the hotel is very, very reasonable. It is very comfortable. Mouse can actually get you a good deal.
Vera gives us fantastic deals for where we are.
On the extra days, take the time. There's so much time to see in Munich.
And on the off chance that your luggage wanders for a couple of days and does its own tour, this time it'll give time to catch up to you.
Right. I'm going to part, before we leave this subject right now, I know Brian is probably quite eager and Corey is quite eager to talk about watching Emma wreck. So just get it out of your systems.
So that last day, we have so much fun before and after, the last day. Before departing, it was not a tour day, and we decided to tour Munich on scooters, Lime scooters and Tier scooters, and that was to go get motorcycle gear. And Emma ate right in front of me, oh my gosh,
was this a low side?
It was a low side, and I went, and apparently, I know I need to lose a few pounds because the ground was shaking.
It was. There was I could feel the thud, but I think it was just knee and pavement. That was, you nailed it pretty hard there.
Yeah, I went down hard on my knee, and I had to go
on a scooter.
Yes,
dangerous,
on a Lime scooter.
She
hit she was getting ready to hop this curb, and there was a little bit of mud and water, in that gutter, and I think she was trying to race Brian, and I'm sweep crew. I'm the EMT, right? I'm going to sweep you up. And next thing I know, she is getting it on the scooter, gets a little sideways, hits the mud, bam, right on her knee.
Oh my!
Yeah.
And you heard it from up front, didn't you? You heard it, didn't you, Brian?
Yeah, so I was leading the way, and the sidewalk was blocked. Then we were on the street, and I'm like, oh, here's a little gap up by a parked car. The concrete's broken down a little bit. I did a little bunny hop up through the little grass median up onto the sidewalk, and then I heard plastic and steel dragging ground, and then I heard a thud, and I knew Emma and Corey was back then. I was like, man, I hope that was Corey. She could probably tumble a little better.
Yeah.
And I looked back and I was like, oh no, Emma's down.
Yep. Emma's down.
And it hurt a lot.
It hurt a lot.
It hurt my pride so much, and I had to sit in the grass and have a little cry. But then it was okay.
She was on it.
He almost landed on a glass bottle.
Yeah, nearly. That would have been interesting.
And the tour is awesome, and hauling ass as it was, and she eats it on the
very last day on a frigging Lime scooter.
Yeah, too bad they don't have a security attendant.
So, I think that's a good a place to leave this as any, because there are other subjects I want to talk about. Brian, Corey, Mouse, thank you so much for coming in.
Sure. Pleasure.
Thank you for being this part of this wonderful tour. Mouse, thank you, and Kat, for putting it together.
You guys are rock stars.
Don't try to keep up with Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian is a fast dude, let me tell you.
He is a really good rider.
And, you hear, I always like it when we get exclusives out here. You sign up for 2024, Henry's going to be with us. And that is a big deal.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, you just said you're coming, Henry.
Yeah, I know.
And you
a big deal. I'm just a dude.
Henry, you're a big deal, buddy.
Yeah, you're a big deal.
You're a passionate vampire.
Playing a dude.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving on into...
Well, Jim and I have a ride report.
Actually, you know what? Do your ride report.
Okay.
We'll do the ride report.
We can't talk about it.
Because I have news, and it ain't good.
Oh. Wow.
Yes.
Okay, well, Jim and I had a really special ride on Friday. We got invited by a private landowner, basically, to come down in the mountains south of here.
Who proposed to who?
Jim and I are getting married.
Yeah, no.
Thank you for the happy announcement.
Who's the baby daddy?
Not even a happy ending.
I'm the baby and he's the daddy.
I gotta go.
Vision of you in a bonnet and a diaper.
I gotta go.
So we got to ride in an area that was thousands of acres of pristine California, and our guide told us when we got there, he's like, this is what California looked like before development, and boy, he was right. An amazing time. The amount of wildlife that we saw was incredible. It was almost like being in one of those Africa tours where you drive through. But what do you think, Jim?
Yeah, it was cool. You know, we can't say too much about it because it was private land a couple hours south of here. It butted up to the Los Padres National Forest,
right?
Sort of the backside of Big Sur, so to speak. And it was vast, but it was. There's places there where you can't hunt, and the wildlife, a lot of it has learned that. So, yeah, and our friend told us, like, hey, this is going to be like California if people disappeared all of a sudden. So it's a network of basically roads and fire roads. There's no map to it. Like,
no.
You could find it on Google Earth, but it's just going to look like dirt roads with no numbers or names or anything. And like John said, the couple of things were striking, but the wildlife was one of them.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as we went on the property, you look into the creek, and there's a bunch of baby pigs in the creek. We saw a herd of elk, probably 30
Yeah,
elk.
I've never seen that many elk before.
I'd never seen elk before.
Yeah.
Dude, and maybe, I would say about 200 yards away, there was a herd of about 30 elk.
Right.
Two big stags. You could see their racks from...
Oh, you've heard of elk?
Elk.
Yes. I've never heard of elk. They're big animals.
They're big,
they really are.
Especially from a distance, too. So
that's the best place to keep them. I'm told they're, amongst the cognoscenti, they are known as quite aggressive.
Especially in November. That's rutting season.
Yeah. Rutting season, because
yeah.
Yes, you might end up with an elk's willy up your bottom, and that would be quite painful, Johnny. So November's a good time to avoid elk.
Yeah. But it's a cool area, and I don't know, not too much we can say about it, but other than get out on your public lands.
Yes,
it's beautiful. Some of the area that we touched on was around the Gonzales area.
King City.
Yeah, King City area.
I tell you what, when you get east of King City,
right,
it's wild out there. It's fantastic.
It really is.
It's I've been there, and it's like stepping back in time.
Yes.
It really is.
It just amazes me, California. Say what you will about California, but it is a gorgeous state.
Well, in that area down there, like King City, east and west, where you go down there, the geology is fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We went by a campground. It was Indian something campground.
Right.
And I wish it was Indian paintbrush or something. But these massive rock slabs, like massive stuff you would see, I don't know, up in the Sierras. Just these hidden little gems of geology and earth and things like that. So, yeah, if you ever ride in California, the central coast is a beautiful spot. But
it really is.
It was a podcast listener friend of ours. He stoked us out with a little private adventure, and we're going to keep it on the down low because it's that good.
Yeah, my encouragement is basically, look at Los Padres National Forest. There's riding out there. I know Breaking Away Matt does Carrizo Plains trips. There's so much really great stuff here, really in our backyard in California.
Right, and there's the takeaway. Find out your public lands, find out where you're allowed to ride your bike, and ride it. Yeah. Enjoy this state while you can, which is going to bring me to news.
Get a dual sport. You got a dual sport?
Me?
You got a dual sport motorcycle?
No, I don't ride dual sports. You know that. There's some news out of Texas. And what Texas has done is... they've actually outlawed lane splitting.
Oh, no.
September the 1st.
Oh, so actually made a legal decision.
Today's September the 1st in Texas, a new law amends the transportation code that turns the sort of grey area pitch black, formally making lane splitting illegal. Introduced earlier this year as House Bill 4122, the law specifically makes it against the law to operate a motorcycle between lanes of traffic, or for a motorcycle to pass another vehicle, including a motorcycle, in the same lane. The amendment also enshrines the motorcyclist the full use of the lane, makes it illegal for another vehicle to crowd into it, though it also allows 2 and only 2 motorcycles to ride side by side in the same lane. And of course, it allows an exception for police officers during the performing of official duties. This is a word of warning for all of us. And I've talked a lot about joining the AMA, and that's
Absolutely.
kind of about as political as I get. It does not matter if you're listening to this and you are in a red state. It does not matter if you are listening to this and you are in a blue state. It does not matter if you are listening to this and you are halfway around the country. All it takes for our way of life to change is for a hotshot governor to introduce an expert. And experts vary. I should point out that in California, they had an expert come in who concluded lane splitting was safe and
from Berkeley.
right,
study,
and a wonderful addition to traffic. Clearly, the expert in Texas did completely the opposite. Make sure that you are aware of what's going on in your state. Make sure that you are aware that if any laws appertaining to motorcycling are coming down the pipeline, you make some noise. How are you going to make some noise? You talk to the AMA. It is their job to make sure that they lobby against these things. It really, as I say, it really doesn't matter if you've got a Republican governor or a Democratic governor. If they don't ride motorcycles and they come up with crap like this, it is an enemy of all motorcycling, and it can really hurt you. Now, as we know, Texas is quite warm, and I can only imagine what these poor guys in full motorcycle gear sitting on their bikes in bumper-to-bumper traffic are going to be going through. And I feel for you guys. I really,
on air-cooled
really
bikes.
do. On air-cooled bikes. And to actually formally go through the process and draw a hard line under it and make it illegal, because we're not implying it's illegal. They have gone through the process to actually make it law and say it is illegal.
And that's an even harder hill to climb to turn that around.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, Harley Nation needs to jump on this immediately, because they're the ones that are going to have the worst problem with the air-cooled bikes.
Right.
I mean, I commute to work every day on my bike for the most part, and the reason is I can lane split and lane filter.
Right.
I mean, if I couldn't lane split and lane filter, I would be driving a Toyota pickup truck.
And
I would too.
At 19 miles to the gallon.
So the upshot of this, and this is why I want people to be aware of this, this is a motorcycle podcast, and we devote ourselves to motorcycle
content
topics. Yeah. And I'm very, very proud of that, and I try and navigate always towards that. But it's worth remembering that the laws pertaining to anything in this country and any other country are quite fragile. And it may be appertaining to motorcycling, it may be appertaining to LGBT rights, it may be appertaining to pay, it may be appertaining to taxes. All it takes is for an expert to come in and advise the governor, advise the local politicians, and your lifestyle can change in a heartbeat.
So is this a bill, or has it passed?
It's passed.
It's passed.
Really?
It's law from September the 1st.
Wow.
So from September the 1st, it is now illegal to lane split in Texas. And apparently the bill's been kicking around since summertime. And they put it into law.
They fast-tracked it.
They fast-tracked it. So it's done and dusted, and it's a fat ticket. You do not want to get busted in Texas. So to all our Texas listeners, I really sympathize with you. It's
Angry as hell.
From this point forward, I'm not saying you're screwed. It's a harder process. If they've gone through fast-tracking this to make it illegal, it is going to be tough. But just stick at it. Approach the AMA, approach Harley Nation. Just make some noise about it and say, look, this is not acceptable. We're very, very lucky here in California that they've taken such a proactive point of view towards lane splitting. But this is not about crowing about California and saying Texas sucks. It's about maintaining freedom for all motorcyclists, no matter where they are. You know, in Europe, lane splitting, or as they call it, filtering, is a way of life. You simply can't navigate through Europe without it. Yes, Bagel.
And if there was any state where the people of the state would be able to put up a fight to turn this around, Texas, I think, is a place where they could do that, because the people of Texas do not like government overreach, and I think this is a perfect case of that, where the people of Texas, I think, are very likely to fight back against this.
Well, I sincerely hope they do.
With their freedom machines.
I do too.
Right. So anyway, that's news out of Texas.
Well, I also say,
noise.
to bring it home to us,
or move to California.
There's always a fight to close off-road vehicle access in California and other places, and also in all the government lands too. So, in addition to that, we need to be paying attention to what they're doing to off-road things. And I would say, if you're in California, hook up with Corva, California Off-Road Vehicle Association. Support them, support the AMA, because we've got to protect our lands. And
right. All it takes is the stroke of a pen.
That's right.
So is it in California there are no green sticker bikes anymore? Everything from now on is a red sticker?
I haven't heard that.
I don't think so.
I thought that was new in 2022 or 2023.
Eventually, you're not going to be able to buy a new gas bike and ride it on public land. That's a lot. In 2035, you can't ride a gas-powered bike on public land is the only thing I heard, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got to fight for that.
Is that like BLM lands?
Yeah, like BLM land. Yeah,
Which
pretty
is where
soon, within our
work.
lifetime, you will not be able to ride a gas-powered motorcycle on federal land. Or maybe it's state land, one or the other. Probably state land.
I think it's state land.
State land, yeah.
Okay.
2045 is the date when they're
It's a
going to stop.
Newsom thing.
Well, they're
Right.
going to stop selling gas cars.
Luckily, Nevada's not far.
Yes.
Exactly. But yeah, be aware what's going on. It's all a little overwhelming, but know your resources. The AMA is a great resource, as is Corva if you're in California. If you're in a different state, there's going to be an off-vehicle highway, off-vehicle association. Find out who they are, support them.
Yep.
Keep this thing going.
Like the Gamblers. I've been watching the Gambler 500 stuff lately.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
That's a riot. Anyway, subject
is a
for
riot.
another day.
So there you go. Moving on to other stuff. I think Liza sent a ton of emails.
Yeah,
out,
I sent
didn't she?
emails. Bagel's got a couple. You have one or two, and Jim has one.
Well, I mean, let's start with you, Bagel. You're always a good place to start. What have you got in the way of emails, darling?
All right. Well, I have an email here from Mike D.
Hey, Mike. Oh, from the Beastie Boys.
Come on, D. Whenever I go to an American football game, there always seems to be a giant drunk guy behind me wearing similar colours to the people on the field, or at least one of the teams, yelling, "Come on, D," in my ear. Is this traditional?
Yes, that's a sports ball term.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
Okay, very good. I just thought I'd let you know.
Let's clarify that. Yes.
Okay, so come on, D.
Yes.
That's the appropriate thing to yell.
If you're at a sports ball game.
Can you
yes.
yell it at any time, or should
Wouldn't
it
work
be
in
at
a-
an appropriate
Not
time?
in a movie theater.
And
Don't
there's
do that.
usually a guy holding up a picket fence next to him.
Oh, I see. Okay, come on, D. I was wondering who this mythical D was.
Oh, is there another letter
All right.
that works better?
Come on, fucker. Right, sorry, Bagel. We got off on a tangent.
Woo, boy.
So this is this is Mike D. He writes, "I'm in the middle of tearing down a CX500 and thought I'd chime in on the email from Aaron you answered last week about finding GL650 parts. You guys mentioned the two biggest sources, David Silver Spares and CMSNL. But I found that once you have your part number from a chart, you can search online for the part number and find new old stock or non-OEM replacements, mostly on eBay.
Yes.
Also, cx500forum.com is a great resource. They cover anything in the family, so the GLs and 650s are very welcome. You can find some guys with parts bikes and a few guys that tune those bikes specifically as a side job. They also have stuff like wiring diagrams for download. About my teardown, I also have a question. There's a lot of basic hardware like exhaust studs, a snap ring, and bolts that I need to replace or clean up. If I find something needs replacing, where is a good resource for just bolts or odd nuts? Wish me luck, Mike D.
I wish you luck, Mike D. So we're on a GL 650 roll here.
Wait, now he had a question. So is there a place to buy sort of bolts and
Like all the fasteners and odd stuff?
I mean, your resource is just a hardware store. You can buy
You can
buy zinc-plated or stainless steel nuts and bolts pretty much at any hardware store. Just remember, everything's metric. Don't overthink it.
You can find the right size in a hardware store, but I believe that there are some bike shops that will sell the authentic OEM hardware too, if you want, the original type.
Yeah,
of
and
hardware that goes on there.
When I restore a bike, I always tend to do a mix because there are bolts you need to buy that are very, very specific, and if you enjoy paying $5 for a bolt, well, more power to you. But if you're just doing like something like holding a heat shield on to an exhaust with a couple of, Phillips screws or Jesus screws, it's far easier to just toddle off down to Ace Hardware and, get a couple of M5 button-head screws. And if you get them in stainless, you can polish them up on a mop, and they look just like chrome, and it's fantastic. And they cost you like 50 cents. And it's,
Another thing I'd recommend... Sorry, go ahead, Bagel.
I was saying, but if you wanted original OEM hardware, where would you go for that?
Well, I would do exactly what he suggested. Once you have access to the part number, once you've got access to the part number, and you can get that from various sources, Bike Bandit, I believe, has got part numbers, MR Cycles, Mr. Cycles, my favourite, has got part numbers. Once you've got access to that part number, just punch it in the search bar of eBay.
That comes up all over the place when you do that. It's
punch
pretty amazing.
Punch that part number, and then Bob's your uncle. It's brilliant.
Whatever happened to Bike Bandit? Did they go out of business?
No, I think they're still around.
They're still around? Okay.
Yeah, I think they're still around.
Now, wasn't there a rumor that Satora Honda said there will always be parts available for these motorcycles?
Yes.
So where do you get them?
Oh, there's various places. You would be surprised how many parts are still available from Honda.
Yeah, I thought they were all available.
No, not quite all available. Okay. They do cycle them out, but Honda's point of view is when they're pretty much done producing them, they'll go to a wholesaler like CSMNL, and they'll make sure there are sufficient supply. And it's very, very interesting to note, if you go to David Silver or if you go to CSMNL and the parts are out of stock, they always make a point of saying they're not always going to be out of stock. And sometimes Honda will actually start remanufacturing parts for the Heritage program, and they'll come back into stock. And Suzuki do that as well. For a lot of the older Suzuki GT, the two-stroke series and the GS series, Suzuki will remanufacture brand new parts. And some of the quality is a little bit choppy. I remember getting a chain guard for my Water Buffalo, and it was brand new, genuine Suzuki part. And all the captive nuts that hold it on hadn't had a thread cut in them. And that in itself wouldn't have been a problem, but it got this really thick chrome plating. So I had to figure out a way to grind the chrome plating off and then run a tap down so I could actually put a bolt through. Silly stuff like that. But it's genuine Suzuki part and brand new for a 1974 bike. How cool is that?
And then I was also going to say, if a lot of times when people are like shipping bikes apart and selling parts on eBay, they'll have like an assortment of like nuts and bolts from a lot of these sellers. That's what I've used to find parts for like my Moto Guzzi, for example. So a lot of time, and you can buy like 50 pounds worth of like nuts and bolts for like $20 or something like that.
It's like Legos.
So, exactly.
Like buying bulk Legos.
It's completely random mix and match. You may
That's
not
a great idea, though.
find what you need.
That.
Yeah, you totally can. And you may not find what you need, but you'll find something you'll eventually use.
There you go, if you've got the space to do it. I'm going to stay on the CX650 subject, and this is from Peter in Sydney, and he's goading me into doing the accent, and I'm not going to. So there you are, Sydney. Dear Misfits, I hesitate to state my location for fear of a dreadful Australian accent. Oops, gave it away.
Shrimp on the barbie.
It's not shrimp on the barbie. No.
With a Foster's lager.
No! It's nothing like that.
No?
No, it's more like...
Come on, Bagel, that was good, wasn't it?
No, it is more like, you'd better get round here with a tie iron. I got a motorcycle stuck up my ass. It's more like that. Anyway, we're digressing.
Or regressing.
I owned the CX650 ED, the Euro version of the GL650 from New. Probably early 84 to 87, and we took it transcontinental, Brisbane to Perth and back. Oh, that's a long way. 2 up with camping gear as our biggest trip. That is a long way. After flogging my second-hand CX500, the CX650 was a dream. My first new bike. In retrospect, it probably cost around the same as a CB1100F. But I love twins and hate caring for drive change, so the choice was obvious. And that's a thing with a lot of these bikes. They were quite expensive back in the day for what you got. Liza is, gets all frothy about the Gore Blimey 500, as does Phil at Cleveland. But the biggest argument I have against that bike, it was so fucking expensive when it was new, is as much as a 4. Mm-hmm. And why the hell are you going to ride a 500 single when you can get a big, properly aspirated 4 for the same money? It doesn't make any sense. And the
Let
CXs,
it out, Emma. Let it out. There's no one here to contradict you.
Yeah, thank you. And these CXs were expensive, but there you go. Anyway, tra-la-la. My experience of automatic cam chain tensioners in Hondas of that vintage matches Miss Emma's memory, of course. Mine got tappy after a couple of years, and cam chain tensioner sticking was the diagnosis. This was despite oil changes every 5,000 to 6,000 kilometres and daily use, which you imagine would wash away any muck. My Honda shop released the stuck cam chain tensioner by heating and bending a long screwdriver. Then they took the cap off the side of the engine. I think the one in the picture reached in with a bent screwdriver and gave the tensioner a flick. And that was actually the fix on these. So there was a plug on the side of the engine, and I'm pretty sure on the 650... Oh, no, it was still a plug. On some of them, it became a breather, but it sat on... And you could kind of reach in with your finger and just feel the end of the cam chain tensioner. But, of course, you don't have much power in your fingertips, so you'd fashion a screwdriver, and you'd give it a bonk, and it'd shut the engine up. So, here we go. And it did the trick. It was a lot better than pulling the back off the engine to get at the tensioner. I've got a lot of love in my heart for that CX650. It's more like a 675, so it would be called a 700 in these inflated days. The engine had a longer stroke than the CX, so torque was better. So the CX500 was actually a very, very short stroke engine, as was the Hawks, which we call the Dreams in England, but you Americans call the Hawks. Very short stroke engines, so they were kind of buzzy. And they lengthened the stroke on the 650, so it was a lot more manageable at low speeds. It was a very, very sweet engine.
Yeah, they sound great.
More character than the Kawasaki GT 750, which was a 4, which the America didn't get. You got the Scepters. Do you remember the Scepters?
I do remember those, yeah.
Yes. Of a similar vintage and way cheaper than the Moto Guzzi or BMW Big Twins I fancied. Mine was this model, and he's included a lovely picture of a CX650 ED in red, white, and blue. Look at that. Isn't that handsome?
Oh, that's a beautiful bike.
It is a beautiful bike. Big old thing. It's great. Anyway, good luck to the GL650 builder. The CX650 ED only lasted 1 year in Australia before the Honda 4s took over. So the CX and the parts for it are rare as hen's teeth, rocking horse poo.
Hen's teeth.
Yeah, hen's teeth. Okay. Cheers from Peter in Sydney. Cheers, mate.
All right.
Struth.
Okay, I have one.
Do you have one, John?
I do. Hello, Misfits.
Hello.
This is from Rowdy Reimer.
Oh, hello, Rowdy.
Yes. Reimer or Reimer, I don't know.
Yes.
But he says, please.
He's rowdy nevertheless.
This is where I'm going to miss Liza. Please tell me why.
Yes.
See, you guys didn't help at all. We're simply tell me why magnets were simply epoxy to rotors for so many bikes for so long. I know grenading rotors are a known issue for Sportsters. After working on my daughter's Ninja 500R, I learned
they're notorious for that.
Earlier years of Kawasaki bikes with the same motor had the same problem. Luckily, hers is new enough to have the newer style flywheel. And with your last podcast, I heard about Naked Gem's FZ1 having a grenading rotor. Why did motorcycle manufacturers not stop making rotors this way a long time ago? Are there still any bikes with rotors made this way?
Okay, you need to get into how Japanese manufacturers think.
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
Well, it still is a good idea. So
it's not. We were picking magnets all out of the
Wait a minute. Okay, we need to back up to how a Japanese engineer thinks. And a Japanese...
So honourable.
Yes, very honourable. Well, you should know, Henry.
Yeah, I get to say that.
You've got half Japanese blood running through your veins.
I do.
That's the honourable half. Mm-hmm. Yes, okay. And the other half is the rowdy American half.
It's the biker part.
It's a bastard half.
Yes, exactly. It's the one that wants to get drunk and kick down the door and go, dang. So, nevertheless, a Japanese engineer will say, okay, what is the temperature range of this engine based on oil temperature, based on longevity of oil? And they'll really get into the dynamics of it. Is what is the engine going to run at minimum temperature? What's it going to run at maximum temperature? What is it going to run at when the oil is 6,000 miles old, minimum and maximum temperature? What is the longevity of the epoxy? What is the substrate, which is what the stator is made out of? What are the magnets made out of? What is the adhesive force between the two? And they go into all these variables. But there are a couple of things that are factors here. The first is you projected life. And there's really not much point in projecting life beyond 10 years. Now, epoxies generally are the strongest of the adhesives. And you're going to say, hang on, no, superglues are stronger. And they are. But the trouble is with the cyanoacrylates, they have a very, very finite life.
So superglues aren't epoxies. I didn't know that.
No, they're not.
Ooh, interesting.
Superglues are cyanoacrylate. And cyanoacrylate, it's very, very susceptible to UV rays. Superglue is very, very strong, but then it just...
Oh, wow.
After it's being subject to UVs. Epoxies are the ones you mix together. And you've got the hardener and the... And they are the strongest of the adhesives by far. But once you get beyond that projected life of 10 years, it's anybody's guess. And I think Rowdy's daughter... No, because he said she's got a younger one. But the people who were having rotor failure in the early EX500s, and I think you had rotor failure in yours, didn't you, Brian?
No, it was the stator.
Oh,
it was the winding.
It was the windings
insulation
themselves.
Came off.
But the problem is that you really can't project. The second reason why younger alternators fail is people upgrade the headlights. And so if you upgrade the headlights in your bike, especially on American bikes where the headlights are on all the time, you're drawing more current out of the alternator.
In sport bikes in particular, right?
Because sport bikes are built down to a weight. And when you build down to a weight, you're always looking for rotational mass that weighs less. So if you want rotational mass that weighs less, your crankshaft's got to have less material, so it'll spin up quicker. But the easiest thing is put a smaller alternator on it, because that's hanging right on the end. And if you put a smaller, lighter weight alternator on it, your engine will spin up quicker. Great for a sport bike. But now, and everything's gas and gators, but now you upgrade the headlight and you deviate from the manufacturer's spec. Now your headlight's drawing a lot more current, and instead of running at a nice jog, now your alternator's sprinting. And because your alternator's sprinting, it's generating more heat. Now we go back to our Japanese engineer who did all his calculations based on temperature range from this to this. Now your temperature range has gone from this to that. And it's gone 10, 20, 30 degrees beyond operating temperature. And that's what's causing the epoxy to fail. The number one reason on FZ1s and R1s of alternator failure are people upgrading their headlights or riding with shitty batteries. It'll be the second. Anything that causes your alternator to work harder than it should, if your alternator's working harder than it should, it's generating far more heat, and it's going to lead to epoxy failure. Theoretically, if you keep the stock headlight in your bike and you keep a good quality UASA battery in your bike and rotate it every 2 years, you're never going to have alternator failure. Yes, Bagel.
And that could also be auxiliary lights if you're at
everything. You name it.
Heated grips.
But it's different on adventure bikes typically, right?
Yeah.
Because adventure bikes typically have larger alternators to cope. That said, BMW have had their own problems with alternators.
There you go.
Brian's making some noise over here.
I have a question. When are manufacturers going to go to a alternator starter? Is that ever going to happen?
They've done it many
Already
times.
happened.
They've done it.
Seems
It's called a dyno starter.
Seems like this should be the
Well, they
work
are
around all
they're,
of it.
They're quite heavy, Brian.
Well, it's separate and it does two functions and
Yeah, but it is, and it hangs on the end of the crank. They are quite big.
Yeah, my Guzzi has one. The thing weighs like 30
oh,
pounds.
is that right? Okay.
Yeah, and it's hanging right on the end of the crank. And the trouble
All the
is,
time.
if you've got rotational mass, so here's your crankshaft, and it's rotating, and then you hang something on the end of it.
Right.
That's actually going to generate quite a few sort of torsional vibrations, and it's going to send high frequency vibrations through the bike. And they might be vibrations that you can't feel, but they're going to send your toes to sleep, and they're going to send your fingers to sleep, and they're
So
going to blur your vision.
Was the new Goldwing that way?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, but the Goldwings are very, very clever. They put what they do is they do all kinds of hydraulic damping within the engine, and the Goldwings actually got hydraulic engine mounts. So the engine mounts in a Goldwing, it's like a steel with a ring of, you know, basically viscous material, and it really isolates the engine from the chassis. It's that Bentley, we want to isolate you from the engine.
Right.
But yeah, so that's basically why. So you've got two factors going on. You've got age, and you've got upgrades. Now, here's something for you. If you ever get on an Airbus, and I think everyone in this room has got on an Airbus, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Epoxy
Yeah.
airplane.
It's glued together.
Oh, great.
It's largely glue.
That plane is glued together.
10 years on that.
Well, no, because they pull them out of service. And oftentimes,
You better hope they do.
if you fly fling flung Alaska Air, you know, it's anybody's guess. But the idea being is everything has time. Everything has a time limit, and epoxies are no different. They're a lot longer lasting than superglue. You know, superglues, when they first came out, we thought they were the absolute cat's pajamas because you could use a very, very small amount, you could clamp it, and they were enormously strong. But of course, all our hearts were broken because you'd leave them in a UV light, in an environment, just leave them outside, and sun beats on them and they break down. And they're better now than they were. I mean, superglue's been around since the mid-'70s.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you know. I just super glued the soles of my riding boots back together, so I'll give you a report on that.
They're going to last about a month.
Yeah.
How'd your watch band end up?
It lasted about a week. You know. Oh, yes. German for superglue is Sekundkleber. Did you know that, Bagel?
Second life.
Sekundenkleber.
Yes.
Yes.
And yeah, I had to glue my watch band, and as predicted, it lasted. But of course, the sun beat down on it, and it was so. So that's
So it lasted for seconds.
right. But that's basically why. It's one of those things. It's a wonderful idea in practice, but in reality, it really comes unglued because we're keeping our bikes longer. We're expecting more from them. We are putting them through things that the manufacturers really didn't expect. And Japan have always been notorious for this. Always. Why would you modify our bikes? They're perfect out the gate.
And there's something to be said for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Our bikes are perfect. Why are you modifying them?
It's what we do.
Yeah, because, you know, that's what we do. You know, I vividly remember 1979. It was really, really early in my career. And we were so excited because one of the engineers was coming from Suzuki to visit us. And he'd been instrumental in the GS program. And the lead mechanic came in and he just bought a GS 850, which was the shaft drive, and put this incredibly loud laser 4-into-1 on it. It just bellowed like a banshee. And this engineer was just absolutely horrified by the noise this was making. And, the mechanic thought, the lead guy thought he was going to be absolutely thrilled about how great this bike sounded. But the mechanic was genuinely hurt because he said the 850 is not that kind of bike. We built this bike as just a whisper quiet, smooth, elegant tourer. Why have you ruined it this way? And he was genuinely hurt. That part of his design. And that gave me a really unique insight into how the Japanese engineers think about their bikes. It's a very, very unique way of looking at it. But I hope that answers your question.
Emma, you never cease to amaze me.
Blimey.
Our listeners get their money's worth.
Don't blame me. Yeah.
Well, I think,
all in all.
you have wasted, dear listener, at least 2 hours of your time listening to our show. I sincerely hope you enjoyed your time without Liza. She's, in fact, back next week. We always do our best when she's not here, but I'm always mindful that it is a captainless ship. And, this...
I want to give you a big shout out to Emma. You cleaned the shop. I don't think it was this Sunday, but last Sunday you went through and cleaned the garage.
Yeah, and it's all messy again now.
That's okay, but a thankless job. Well done.
Well, I try, and, I always try and leave the shop better. Whenever Liza goes away, I always like to leave her a nice little Easter egg when she comes back. And this time I wanted to have a clean shop, and it is still cleaner than it was when she left. But it's not
noticeably cleaner.
Yeah, but it wasn't as clean as it was last week. And we didn't even really talk about what we did today, but we had. It was almost like the old days today. There was a lot going on. We had a great time. Please come and visit us. It's a lovely place to visit. Please sign up for one of our tours. We have got so much going on in 2024. We've got Chickistan, we've got Stumperstan, we've got Castles and Curves, we have got Dolomites trip. I'm going to be doing another Vietnam trip in the fall, and that's based on how my Vietnam trip I just booked my flight. 19 hours on a plane.
Yep.
19 frigging hours. You've done this because you went to Australia.
Yeah.
Got 21 to Pakistan.
Yeah. I'm flying China Air. What do you have to say about that?
Oh, it's great.
Oh, yeah. No.
They take really, really good care of you. You'll have a nice little kit of toothbrush and lotion and stuff like that.
Oh, I like lotion.
Where do you transit at?
I am transiting in Seoul.
Okay.
So I fly SFO to Seoul, transfer in Seoul, Ho Chi Minh City, and then coming
Saigon.
back, I'm flying to Saigon, and then flying back, I fly from Saigon to Ho Chi Minh, and then transferring Ho Chi Minh back to SFO. I'm flying back Vietnamese Air, and so that's in November. So we're doing a ton of trips. Jim, I really want you to put together some Southern California trips.
Oh, we got that.
Yeah, Mojave trips.
Yeah, we do. We got a little gig going down to Lone Pine in October. So if you want to check out Lone Pine and Death Valley, we're going to be doing that kind of a thing. That's kind of like just a group of us, but anybody's welcome. We got room.
Yeah, and of course there's the Misfits Rally.
Well, the bigger one's going to be, at least for me, and it's just free. Just come and hang out and have a good time. Is down at Johnson Valley OHV.
There you
during
go.
the King of the Hammers race. So I got a campsite that we go. It's BLM land, so it's wide open, but it's on the edge of the race course for King of the Hammers. It's pretty nuts, and I love Johnson Valley, so that'll be the end of January. So,
A lot coming up.
More the merrier. Yeah,
right,
it's a good time.
absolutely.
Misfits Rally in March.
Misfits Rally in March, AM Expo in February. I mean, we are busy people. Come and hang out with us. We're
Vintage motorcycle days. Woo.
yeah. Yeah, we're fun. I mean, we're nerds. We are very nerdy,
They
but
are.
we're fun too.
Bagel, you got.
I'm hitting the road this week.
Are you really? Where are you heading, Bagel?
Going to Colorado for Heinkelfest.
Heinkelfest.
Heinkelfest. Will there be any HE triple ones?
Not likely, but there will be some 103A1s, some 103A2s, and probably a few other models too as well.
Sounds like
You ride
Mr.
in there, or
Schmitz.
you gonna truck it there?
I'm taking the van there. I'm taking my 65 Heinkel Tourist and my 57 Heinkel Parallel Moped.
Awesome.
Because I don't think very few people there have probably even seen a Heinkel moped before, so I wanted to show it off.
And, shout out to you getting a picture on the One Show website of you standing. Yes, you did, standing proudly next to your little Pearl.
Nice.
It's a good shot of you as well.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. So I think that's it, actually. I mean, we've reached the end of the show. We've reached the end of our time without Liza.
Flew by. That was like a half an hour, wasn't it?
It seemed like half an hour.
Oh, my God.
Liza will be back next week, and I'm guessing she's going to want to tell us all about her England trip, which is going to become yet another tour.
Yeah.
Whether it's 2024
Looks
or
fun.
2025 remains to be seen, but we'll be doing a tour of England as well.
2025. That can't be real.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that nuts? It's wild. So I think it's time
People
to get
already
out of
talked
here.
about it.
Yes.
Yes. So, Corey, Brian, you're going to have to figure out how this works, but you'll pick it up, trust me. So, I think that's it.
Emma, thank you. You did a great job hosting. Thank you for having us here.
It's a thankless job.
It was a pleasure.
Let's get out of here.
All right.
Henry.
Stumpy John.
Emma, darling.
Corey.
Brian.
Nancy.
Thank you, Jim, son.
Bagel.
And we are out of here. Cool.